Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make custom crafting recipes for Minecraft Java Edition, and it's really easy, so follow along. So the first thing you want to be doing is pressing the Windows and R key at the same time, and then typing in %sign and then app data and then another %sign. Then hit enter or click on OK, and then you'll either be redirected to this folder over here or this folder. Either way, you want to make sure you're in roaming right there. Yeah, and then almost at the top or at the very top, you should see a folder called .minecraft, and that's the exact folder we want to go into. And then right in here, you should find another folder called versions, and you want to go into that as well. And now for this custom crafting recipe we're going to be making, you can make it for any version that you want. And in my case, I'm going to be selecting 1.19.4. In this folder called versions, you'll see every single version that you have launched before. So I can open this up, this 1.19.4 folder up right here. And as you can see, I've launched this version before, and that's why the folder's here. If there is nothing inside of this folder, then try checking other folders with the same digits. For example, if you want to make something for 1.15.1, well, and there's nothing inside of that folder, then just check the 1.15 folder, and there should be stuff inside there. Anyways, basically, you should see 2 or 3 things in your folder, all called the version but with different extensions over here. If you can't see the extensions, it's very important that you go over to View, Show, and make sure that file name extensions is ticked. Now depending on your OS, this might work a little bit differently, but either way you want to make sure you see file name extensions. It's not only important for this part of the tutorial, but it's important for many parts of this tutorial. Basically, what you want is this .jar one over here, and the name of that is going to be whatever version you're choosing, and then .jar at the end. You can right click on that and then click on copy, and then just click away the folder. So at the beginning of this video, you probably thought my desktop was nice and clean. Well, as you can see, it isn't. Anyways, basically, you can head anywhere you want. I'm going to head over to my desktop since that's the easiest for me. And then you just want to go ahead and paste in the .jar file you just copied. Then you want to head over and rename it. And then what you actually want to do is remove the .jar from the end, just like this, and replace it with .zip. That is .zip. Then we're going to pop up that if you change a file name extension, the file might become unusable. In this case, the file will still be usable, so we can just click on yes. And as you can see, we now have a zip folder, which we can enter into, which is pretty cool. Now, basically what you want to do is create a new folder, and this is going to be your pack. So I'm going to call this It's64's Custom Java Crafting Recipe, just like this. And you can call this anything you want. It's just going to be the name of your pack, basically. And then you want to open up this as well as the zip folder you have over here. As you can see, in the zip folder, there is 7,291 items. We don't want all of them. And now also, depending on your version, this number might be different. But basically, you want this folder called data here. So you can grab that and you can drag it over into there, and it's going to take a little while to copy because it's in a zip folder. Now, this might take a minute, maybe a maximum of like 3 minutes, and now this is the fastest way of doing things either way. If you were to extract them all or something like that, it would all take longer. And here we are about 60 seconds later, and as you can see, the data folder has successfully been put in here. Now, this zip folder which we are left with, we can just go ahead and delete that as we do no longer need this. So now we're just left with this data folder inside of your pack. We want to head inside that as well as into the Minecraft folder. And now here you'll see a bunch of folders of things you can edit. I have a separate tutorial in which I go over every single one of these, and in which I teach you how to make a cool data pack, stuff like that. This video, we're in depth going into recipes. I will link the other tutorial in the description, but basically because we're only going to be changing recipes, we can delete every something else because we don't need it, and it's going to save storage for the pack and stuff. And we'll just be left with this recipes folder over here. Entering into this recipes folder, you will see a bunch of files. In my case, it's more than 1,000. Yeah. And now you can head into these, and these are all crafting recipes. Yeah, and I'm going to be teaching you how to make your own one and how to edit them as well. So you might just be panicking because I literally opened one up and you might not be able to. So I can do that again for you guys, and I'm using a program to do this called Notepad++. It's free. You can download it from online Google Chrome or from the Microsoft Store. It's literally 5 megabytes. And so yeah, basically that. Anyways, you can also open it up with any other text editor like Notepad. You can open it up with Word. There's no way it's gonna work with Word, but basically open it up with something. Any text editor. Most text editors should work, and then this is a simple crafting recipe. And as I said, first I'm going to be teaching you guys how to change them so you'll get a basic understanding and you can change all the crafting recipes. And then I'm going to show you how you can actually make your own. Yeah. So for this, I'm just going to choose the top one. All these are named to have the, have the literal, the name of the crafting recipe right here, so that's cool. Anyways, we have I'm just going to be teaching you this with the use of the acacia boat crafting recipe. So there's a few things here, yeah, and basically so first off we'll go through everything. Yeah, so the type, it's a shaped crafting recipe. Yeah, and what shaped means is that the shape in which you put it into the crafting table is determined. Yeah, so for a boat case, it's the 2 things above and 3 things underneath. Yeah, and everything we're going to be going over is going to be variables, and these will all change depending on the type of crafting recipe it is. Yeah, so there's 2 types of crafting recipes. There is shaped ones and there's shapeless ones. As you can see, buttons are unshaped, because they don't, like, there's not a shape for the crafting recipe of a button. It's literally a wood plank. Yeah. So then the category is miscellaneous, so you don't really need to know anything about that. And the group is a boat. That's simple enough as well, right? Because it's an acacia boat. And anyways, now we have the key right over here. And the key and the pattern both are basically intertwined. So in the key, you will list all the items that you need to craft something. So in this case, you can choose any character. In this case, it's a hashtag. And as you can see, the item that this hashtag represents are acacia planks. Okay, cool. And then under pattern here, you can see the pattern that you need to put the acacia planks in. Wow, that's pretty sick, isn't it? So that's basically literally how that works. Yeah. And now sometimes in crafting recipes that require more than one item, they'll just go like this. There we go. And then underneath, just like that. And then we can go back here. There we are. And then we'll, for example, have a P. And this P is going to be maybe it's going to be an iron, there we go, ingot. Very nice. And then you can, for example, put a P in here. And that's going to mean that in that crafting slot, you need a P. Yeah, that's how that works. So basically, these keys, they just represent items in game. And those items are represented by a character. And underneath pattern, we have the pattern in which these items need to be placed in the exact same way that they're on a crafting grid. Yeah. So as you can see, that is really simple. If you know the crafting recipe for a boat, you'll know that you need to place it into a crafting table just like this. And you might be saying, hold on, isn't the crafting table 9 by 9? Yes, it is. And this one, well, it's 3 by 3. Yeah, 9 squares in total. And this one's only 6 squares, and it's a 2 by 3. Yeah, and that is because it doesn't matter if you build your acacia boat on the top half or on the bottom half of the crafting table. All that matters is that you put it in this shape, and that is basically what that allows. This is literally just the shape in which it needs to be crafted, and not the exact slots everything needs to be placed in. Yeah, and then we also have the result over here, and this is going to result in you crafting the acacia boat. Yeah, and that's basically what this is. So now I'll explain further using a different crafting recipe. This one is for acacia planks, and as you can see, it works the exact same. We got the category, the group. This one is shapeless because you only need to place one log into the crafting bench, and then you already get you already get it. And for that reason, there is no pattern, because you don't need a pattern to place in a log into the crafting bench. You can place it anywhere. Now we do have something different, and that is the count right over here, and that basically states that if you put one acacia log, if you put the acacia log in, you will get 4 acacia planks, which is something we all know, right? And that's basically what this count variable can do right there in the result. Then I've also got another one over here. This one's for the anvil, and as you can see, this is basically the same as the first one, so it's a shaped one, and in this case we have 2. We got the iron block, which is represented by a capital I, and an iron ingot, which is represented by a lowercase I. Here we can see the pattern in which we need to place everything, and here we can see that the result is an anvil. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So now I'm pretty sure that you can just change things, right? And that's one way in which you can create your own crafting recipes. Yeah, so I can go over here, and let's say this is the crafting recipe, right? Well, I want these to be cheaper, so I'm going to make this an I, and I'm going to make this an I. That means, and I'll make this an I as well, and then I'll make this middle one a capital I. And basically what this means is that this is going to be the new crafting recipe of an anvil. 3 iron ingots in the top, 3 in the bottom, and only 1 iron block. And boom, Control S, it's been saved, done. That's all I need to do. Now I have this new crafting recipe. Yeah, and you can basically do that to other things as well. So let's also edit the acacia door one. So we can do some cool stuff here. We put acacia planks in that pattern, and how much to get? I want to get a stack for that. Pretty cool, right? And you know what? I don't want to get an acacia door from that. I want to get a diamond. There we go. So now for placing acacia planks in this pattern right over here, we will get 64 diamonds. Wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Then we can hit Control S to save it, or go over to File and save it from there. Yeah, and that's basically how you can edit these and do stuff like that. So now I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom recipe. So the first thing that you want to do is probably find an already existing recipe that is here, right? So in this case, that's for me going to be the beacon crafting recipe. So I'm going to copy the beacon crafting recipe and then paste it again. And it's just going to be called beacon copy. And that's not going to work because it's not allowed to have spaces in it. So what I'm going to call this is Ender and then Pearl. There we go. I now have a new file called Ender Pearl. And it has the same thing as a beacon, so it's not going to do anything now. Basically, I now have this already laid out crafting recipe, which is called Ender Pearl, and I'm going to make it so that it's the crafting recipe for an Ender Pearl. So the result, I definitely want to be an Ender Pearl. just like that. So bam, we've already done that. And then I want to choose the crafting recipe for this. So obsidian, nether stars, and glass. I don't want glass. I want end rods to be there. Yeah. So basically, we're gonna say I want end rods. Here, I want this to be an end rod, and I want obsidian to be there, and there. There we go. So obsidian in all 4 of the corners, end rods there, and a nether star in the very middle there. There we go. Now, as you can see, I've changed this name. It's still a shaped one. Yeah. I've just changed a bunch of things to this beacon crafting recipe, which is way easier than typing it from scratch, and it is now an ender pearl crafting recipe. So we can hit Ctrl S to save that. Now you can keep on going with this as long as you want. You can change things, you can do cool stuff. I honestly don't care what you do, but let me know down in the comments either way, as I'd love to see what you guys are going to get up to. Anyways, basically, once you've done editing everything that you want for your pack, which in my case I have, you just want to go back to this page over here where you have the data folder, because now we need to work on importing this texture pack. To import this pack, you're going to need the pack.mcmeta file, and I've got a download link for that right down in the description box. Yeah, that'll bring you just to a MediaFire page, and that's going to allow you to download this, and basically you probably can't open that up. I keep on forgetting. So you want to go right click on that, and then click on select open with, and then choose your text editor, which is something I can do. Yeah, and if you can't and you're struggling, then what you can do is rename that and call it pack.txt, just like so. Once again, we get that same pop-up that we've seen before, but basically with it being called pack.txt, you should be able to open it now. So this is your pack, and this is basically a file that Minecraft reads, and that's going to let Minecraft know, cool, this is a data pack, and this is the versions it works for. Yeah, and so basically, something very important, let's say you accidentally delete this comma right here. This pack.mcmeta file will then no longer work, and your pack will no longer import, and you'll be all stressed because everything's not working. Yeah, so be really careful with what you edit, what you touch, stuff like that. Yeah. So first off, we'll start off with the description over here. So in between quotation marks, you will have the description of your pack. When you download it, it's probably going to say resources provided by It's Me64 on YouTube. You can just remove that, basically. If you want to, you can also leave it there. Subscribe to me though, either way. And you can just type in a description. So It's Me64's custom cool crafting recipe right there. So you can call your description anything. Just make sure it's in between these quotation marks here. That's all that really matters. And also don't make it like 20 paragraphs long, because then you're never going to be able to read it inside Minecraft. So next we're going to be heading on to the pack format right over here. So to determine what you need to change your pack format to, you want to head over to another link in the description, which is going to bring you over to the Minecraft wiki, and this is going to be the page about pack formats. Yeah, you want to scroll all the way down until you see this tab called Data Pack, and that's the one you want to look at. Yeah, so basically, what this basically says is the value that you want to enter for your pack format depending on the version you want yours to work for. Remember, I chose 1.19.4, so for me it is 12. Yeah, so that's cool. Mine is already 12. That's very nice. If you want yours to work for 1.17 and below, you want to go 7. Yeah, and basically something that's different from resource or texture packs with this is that if I choose 12, it'll still work for all the versions below, but it won't work for versions above. And now this can be kind of confusing, but basically, so I choose 12, yeah, because mine's for 1.19.4. This doesn't mean, though, that it doesn't work for 1.19 to 1.19.3. However, with constant updates to Minecraft, it might eventually end up breaking for these versions, but it'll never break for the version that I have set this number as. Now, do keep in mind that if in the beginning of the video you selected the 1.18 folder, you can't just randomly put in 12 now, as you chose the folder from 1.18, which means you will need to choose 8, and it'll work for all versions of 1.18 and those below as well. Yeah, anyways, mine needs to be 12. And look at how convenient that is, it's already 12, otherwise you can just change it. Yeah, anyways, because mine's already 12, I can hit Ctrl S to save it, or go over to File and save it from there. So now we're done editing your pack, your pack thing right over here. If you did change it to .txt earlier, it's really important that you rename it back to .mcmeta, just like this. That is .mcmeta. It's really important that you do that, otherwise it's not going to work. Also, you need to make sure that you do get this pop-up here, and that you don't just add .mcmeta to the end. A really nice way to check that is if you see this type over here, it needs to say mcmeta file. If it just says text file here, that means that you haven't changed it correctly, and your pack will probably not import. Now I've got an optional step, and that optional step is adding a pack icon. The icon I'm going to choose is just my channel logo right over here, as you can see. And now this really has 3 criteria that needs to fit this for it to be able to be your pack logo. Number 1, you can just open this in whatever, Paint 3D or something, and you just want to make sure that this logo that you're choosing is square. Mine is, which is perfect. If it isn't square, it's either going to get cut off or stretched inside of Minecraft, which is something you probably don't want. Anyways, that's criteria number 1. Number 2 is that your icon is called pack icon, just like this. If it is called anything other than pack icon, it's not going to work. Yeah. And the last thing has to do with the file name extension. In my case, the file name extension here is .jpg. Now this file name extension has to be .png, otherwise it will not work. Once again, this pop-up, just click on yes. As you can see, it still perfectly works. If yours is already .png, perfect. If it isn't, you will need to change it to PNG. So now that you have your icon and everything, basically we are ready to rock and roll. Yeah, so you can click on Ctrl A to select everything, or drag over everything like that to select them all. Yeah, and then you want to right click on them and then click on compress to zip file over here. And now depending on your OS or the device you're using, this might not actually be an option. And if it isn't, you might need to download a program called 7-zip or called WinRAR. I'll link one of the two probably in the description or something. And what that program is just going to allow you to do is to compress them to a zip file. Just literally perform the action I'm about to do right here. So I can click on that option, and now here's my pack. And I can call this anything I want, so I'm just going to call this ISME64's custom, what did I call it before? Java, Java crafting recipe, it says right up there. Crafting recipe, okay, bad at typing, but as you can see, that's just going to be the name of my pack. And now what we literally have right here is my pack. That is so cool, isn't it? And now we still have this folder right over here of our pack. We don't need that anymore, so you can delete it. However, you can always come back to this, edit things inside here, and then redo what I just did, select all these and compress it to a zip file. Yeah, so you can come back and change this change this pack anytime you want, but I don't want to anymore, so I'm just going to delete it. Yeah, and basically what we have now here is your data pack. Once your pack's completed, you can launch whatever version of Minecraft you made your pack for. In my case, that's 1.19.4. Yeah, and now what you can do is basically launch previous versions as well if you want to test for all the versions it works. But yeah, basically, just to, we're obviously gonna test out our pack that we made. So we can select any world. You can create a new world if you want to do this, as obviously this can change things. So select any world. You can create a new world if you want to, and then you want to click on Edit, and then you want to click on Open World Folder over here. And this is going to open a folder in a place we've been before. As you can see, roaming and .minecraft. That reminds me of the beginning of the video, doesn't it? Anyways, in this case, we are in the folder of this world. And you want to go in here and select the data packs folder. And you can drag your custom data pack into it. And now I, by chance, already had a data pack inside that folder. But yeah, basically, I can just leave that in there, or actually delete it. If you're experiencing troubles, delete any other data packs, because they might override each other or stuff like that. So basically, yeah, that's something important I kind of forgot to say. If I have like 5 different crafting recipe packs in here, only one of them is going to work because they're all going to override each other. So if you want multiple changes in one world, then just put it all into the same pack. Yeah. Anyways, with this being dragged in there, you should be totally good to click away that folder, click on save, and then launch the world right there. So let's test out the crafting recipe we changed. I think it was like the anvil one or something. So we'll go iron. Oh yeah, I remember. We made it cheaper, didn't we? So 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Let's make a whole bunch of these. So basically, there we go. Let's make a stack of anvils now, because we can afford that, because anvils are so much cheaper. Oh my god, we can make 64 anvils. Yeah, with that new crafting recipe we had. So let's go back here, and then let's just get some of that once again. So, dude, okay, iron. I forgot we need more than 1 iron for the old crafting recipe. So there we are. Now, if we do the old anvil crafting recipe, as you can see, it doesn't work because we changed it. Yeah, we changed it to this, which is obviously so much better because it's so much cheaper, and who wouldn't want to do that, right? So basically, that's how that works. Yeah. And now one thing kind of important as well is that if there's already an existing crafting recipe for something, if you don't mind, it is best and easiest for the game and its performance to just change the existing crafting recipe instead of creating a whole new one. I didn't mean to go to the end, but here we are. Anyways, basically, that's kind of that, I suppose. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those down in the comments below. But for right now, thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye-bye. Also, the pack I made in this video, like this video, you can actually download that from the description if you want some kind of reference pack or something like that. If you like that, then you can download the pack I made in this video through the description. And I make a bunch of data packs and stuff like that and cool things too. And I will link some of the data packs I have made in the description as well. Oh my god, it's going to be a lot of links in the description. But oh well, bye-bye.